This is not how my first video was supposed to go. I had grand plans for launching my YouTube channel with this glorious channel trailer, like action movie style, shooting, B-roll, like epic production value. And I was set to go out to record some of that video today, but the weather was not having it. The weather was not having it. We're experiencing some very un-Texas-like weather today, which I was gonna push through. I told myself, you know what? I can transcend this excuse. I'm going out anyway. It's supposed to have an action movie type feel, right? So let me go out and do it anyway. Let me go shoot this video and come back and edit it and get it all ready for my launch tomorrow. And then my power goes out. Life is funny sometimes, but you know what? Here we are. This is what it's gonna be. We're gonna transcend that excuse too. And we're just gonna do something different. The channel trailer is supposed to show a trailer-sized glimpse into my story, but I figured we could just sit down for a fireside chat while I'm out of power and while it's fucking freezing outside, and kind of tell you a little bit about my story and what motivates me and why I'm doing this. It's 2008. I'm in Virginia Tech. It is my senior year of college. And by this point, I had realized that I was pretty much wasting my time in college. I went to college in the first place because I wanted to become a video game designer. And just due to the way the industry was going, I realized that I didn't really want to do that. Video game designers were really being taken advantage of at the time. And it just sounded like that dream wasn't as glorious as I imagined it to be. At the same time, I was really becoming committed to my music, really starting to feel like that's what I wanted to focus my life on. Around that same time, I started to realize how systemically fucked our world was. It was around the time Ron Paul was gearing up for his campaign. One of my friends introduced me to Ron Paul. I was just starting to become kind of politically aware and really wanting to know what's going on in the world. I really believed a lot in what Ron Paul had to say. You're talking about a politician that actually wanted to create some real change, to actually move us towards a more free and abundant America and world, ultimately. Hearing the things that he had to say about abolishing the Federal Reserve and dramatically reducing the size of government just really inspired me and hit me to my core. So I read his books and I got all excited about the Ron Paul campaign. At the time, he was actually raising more money online than any other candidate, Barack Obama included. He had a massive following. He wasn't given a shot. They wouldn't let him in the debates. Anytime they would mention him on the mainstream media, they would try to not even say his name. They would refer to him as a candidate. And I just really saw how he was treated and how he was blocked from having any legitimate shot of getting into office, despite having such great ideas and despite having such a passionate and loyal following. So it really just eroded my faith in the ability to really change the world through the political system. So I was just really depressed. I found myself really lost personally in my own path, but also feeling discouraged about the future prospects for humanity. So I was depressed. I won't say I ever thought of suicide. It goes against my code in any way, shape, or form. In my mind, it's just, if you're at rock bottom, the only way you can go is up. So I went to the school to get help. And I was sent to a psychiatrist, and they diagnosed me with clinical depression, and they wanted to give me antidepressants. At the time, I was already aware of how problematic our usage of antidepressants can be. They definitely serve their purpose. They're a Band-Aid, but the problem is a lot of the times people want to only give you the Band-Aid and write you off. you know? Like if I was stabbed and then I had come to the hospital and they just put a Band-Aid on my wound and sent me home, sort of thing, while I'm like bleeding out, and give you a painkiller to, you know, to get rid of the symptoms, but without actually addressing the core of the issue, you're not gonna heal. That doesn't create healing. In fact, for a lot of people, it buries it. It buries it. It numbs you out. Just like physical pain, emotional pain is there for a purpose. It's there for a reason. It shows us that there's something not right, right? If you break a finger, you're supposed to know that, hey, something's not right here, so you can, you know, be able to handle it, to treat it, to fix the core of the problem. If you were to break a finger and they just gave you a painkiller so you didn't feel the pain, but they didn't do anything else, and you're just there with this fucked up finger, that clearly isn't how you solve problems. Unfortunately, a lot of modern psychology and psychiatry treat emotional problems in that way. And so that was a thing just through happenstance and, you know, from having seen how it affected some of my friends in high school that I had already kind of become aware of. So I didn't want to take the antidepressants myself. So me, I looked to mushrooms. I mean, hey, Mario used mushrooms. Think about it. Mario takes shrooms to grow as a person and fight reptilian overlords. Does that not tell you something? In one experience, psilocybin mushrooms healed my depression. And my experimentation with them moving forward, psilocybin mushrooms along with LSD and other psychedelics began to show me that there are solutions. Mushrooms, LSD had a tremendous and profound transformative effect on my life. Wiped out my depression. They helped me see that there are solutions and that I can be a part of bringing those to fruition. And also the passion for gaming. I grew up playing video games. As I mentioned, I wanted to be a video game designer before. It's always been one of my biggest passions. But during the time period of trying to figure out whether I wanted to spend my life working on video games or working on music, I saw how music could make a positive impact on the world, but I couldn't see the same for video games. And now I've come to stumble onto the work of people like Jane McConigal, who shows the powerful transformative effect that video games can have on people as well, making people more capable of collaboration and decision making, the desire and ability to take on challenges, the willingness to take on challenges. It cultivates a lot of great personality traits in people. For me, it was more about the hero's journey and the model that video games and movies lay out. I always loved role-playing games. Games like World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy, where you start off and you're this weak character and basically the only thing you can kill is like rabbits and crabs and toads and shit like that, and you're just so weak. You have a stick for a sword and sheets for, for armor. And you start at this low level and you build up. You build up through encountering challenges and conquering them and developing new skills and leveling up and really grinding and like working to become stronger so that you can conquer the big challenges, right? That's like the core ethos of these video games. I was just so drawn to it. So the question became, if I looked at my life in the same way, like, you know, all of the skills that I have that I can be cultivating and developing and leveling up, looking at myself as the character and and using that mentality to motivate myself to not only to level up as a as a character in this world, right? But to believe in my own ability to be able to connect with others on the same mission and conquer the big challenges, to slay those metaphorical dragons. And for me it works. For me, it just makes me feel re-enchanted and empowered. And I hope to share that lens with you all, so that rather than watching movies and, the superhero movies have been the biggest genre for as long as I can remember. But in a strange way, they're kind of disempowering. For most people, it cultivates that toxic subconscious notion that if you don't have super strength, laser vision, teleportation, telekinesis, shape-shifting, that if you don't have the ability to transform into an animal, fly, if you don't have $1 billion in a secret bat cave and a cape, that you can't be a hero and you can't save the world. Well, that's bullshit. It's bullshit. And I know now for myself, and I want you to know that. I want to help convince you of that, so that you can see your own heroic potential and your own ability to be able to help reverse this slide towards a dystopia that we're all living through right now. I've worked with activists, entrepreneurs, change makers, working with these people and organizations as the founder of Autonomite, a creative agency dedicated to unfucking the world, really reinforced my belief that there are solutions and that I and that you can be a part of them. So this is about sharing disruptive ideas, philosophies, and business models for making a real world impact. This is about using creativity, which is my superpower, to destroy the stagnant old paradigms that stifle humanity and promote these promising new paradigms that can actually allow us to thrive. And I'm not coming to you as somebody who's mastered myself, who's reached max level, and who has slain the metaphorical dragon, but I'm coming to you as somebody committed to the journey and inviting you to join me as we become heroes in real life.